Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Courtney from Dandelion Branding, and today we are going to be talking about thought leaders. So we recently put out a blog article listing the 13 types of posts that work really well for thought leaders. If you haven't checked that out yet, check it out, dandelionbranding.com, and I'll link it in the description also. That article covers what a thought leader is and how you can show up as one on social media. I wanted to speak a little bit more on the why. Why should you position yourself as a thought leader? The short answer is that if your business depends on your knowledge in order to be successful, then you should work on incorporating some of these techniques to position yourself as a thought leader in your industry. If your business relies on your experience and your knowledge and your expertise, then you want to prove to your audience that you are an authority on this subject, that you have the ability to speak on this subject over and over again, and it's something that you feel so strongly about, so passionately about, that you will continue to speak about it as time passes on all of your social media platforms. There should be no doubt from your audience that you know your stuff. And how will they know this unless you are showing it to them? And that's why we wanted to give you so many options for different ways in which you can post your content as a thought leader, because you're going to be continuously producing content for your audience. And so something I find really interesting about a thought leader versus an influencer or a brand or any other business that's on social media is that for thought leaders, your message should more or less be the same throughout all of your content. Yes, your goal as a thought leader is to have a fresh perspective and to have interesting and compelling ideas. And you'll always want to be infusing new ways in which you can communicate about your ideas into your content. But for the most part, you are going to be driving home a similar message every time. Let's take, for example, Gary Vee. He's incredibly popular as a content creator and a thought leader in the content marketing industry. His messaging is extremely clear because it echoes throughout every single piece of content that he creates. His message is that through that daily grind, through high efficiency content creation, anyone can be a leader and can build an audience on social media. He is motivational and he speaks directly to this hustling entrepreneur type. But this is something that a lot of us who are interested in starting a business or growing a business will find relevant to our own experiences as well. So why does this content continue to gain so much attention, even though it is essentially making the same point over and over again? And some would argue that his idea might be stale. I think that far more people really appreciate the fact that he continues to drive home the same point over and over again because they're hard lessons to learn. And that's what a thought leader does. They are pushing the boundaries. People are turning to them for the motivation that they don't have within themselves. They are looking for that passion, that clarity, that confidence. And all of that is what you need to exude as a thought leader in your industry. No matter what you're putting out there, those are the things that your audience is going to be attracted to. And your audience that you've built or are working on building, they are going to want to feel that every time when they return, time and time again, to your platforms. And this consistency in your messaging breeds authenticity, authority, and overall it strengthens their opinion of you as a leader for what you are speaking about. So don't get me wrong, you cannot be putting out the same content all the time. You have to mix it up. And that's why we gave you 13 different ways in which you can communicate your content in this blog article. So by all means, mix up the format, but keep your message as clear and concise as possible. Keep driving your message home. And don't feel concerned so much about coming off as repetitive. Remember that your content doesn't operate in a vacuum. People are consuming content all the time when they're on social media, and your post is amongst hundreds of others that they've seen in that 30 minutes that they've been scrolling. And so to them, it won't feel as repetitive. And in fact, that repetitive nature is actually quite helpful for you because it's clear that this is something that you feel so strongly about. Also, just a note, how many times do you need to be reminded in order to make some sort of a positive or difficult change in your life? It's probably a lot more than once. So these changes don't happen overnight. And if you are introducing some sort of a new concept, some sort of a new idea to your audience, then you need to be prepared to continue to find new ways of communicating that same message to continue to hammer it home. And so if your message is a big enough one, if it is something you are passionate about, then something that you can continue to speak on day in and day out, then that means that that is something that you can absolutely become a thought leader in. And through these 13 ways in which you can create posts, you can certainly find some success in that field. And though it certainly won't be easy, organic content marketing is not easy. It is not quick. It is something you have to be very, very patient with, something that you have to be intrinsically motivated to create on a continual basis, because not everything will be a success. But you have to take those small failures in stride and know that if you're feeling confident and passionate enough about the message that you're putting out there, then you'll be able to push through it, and you'll be able to kind of find that one string that really resonates with your audience. But the moral of the story is that you just have to continue and you have to keep going. And thought leaders tend to operate independently, so that can be a bit of a challenge as well. But that's the reality. It's the same with solo entrepreneurs. So becoming a thought leader is not for the faint of heart, but for those who are passionate and motivated enough to push through any small failures throughout that journey, then by utilizing this technique and by knowing that just continuing to put out consistent content that really drives home your one or two main messages, your audience will begin to view you as an authority on this matter and will follow you and really look to you for whatever it is that you might be putting out there. Let's say if you are speaking about how to start a business, then anytime that folks are struggling with starting a business, they will turn to you. If you are someone involved in the political sphere, then folks will continue to turn to you for opinions on things that are happening in the political world. And there's a lot of examples for different ways in which one can be a thought leader. It is a bit of a broad term, but it is something that is sort of on the cutting edge, and it is a bit of a distinction from someone who is just considered an influencer. So we felt like it warranted having this solo content created around it, and we hope that this was helpful. If you are considering becoming a thought leader, let us know what it is that you want to speak about with your audience, and we can't wait to hear about it. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give us a like or a subscribe. We would really appreciate it, and we will talk to you next time. Thanks for watching.